Hi everybody, I hope you've had a great week and thanks for all the support you've given me. I was going to do a sales course today, but I want to tell you how I started off in life. So I'm going to tell you the story about the Starfish Thrower, and all you people are starfish throwers. Now, many years ago in California, I had this story 35 years ago, and it totally changed my life. There was this young man. He was 33 and he had 3 children, and he was working hard, but he heard that his business, his factory that he worked in, was going to have massive redundancies. They weren't getting enough orders. So he started to panic, and they started to make people redundant, and the people who made redundant couldn't get no other jobs, and he was worried sick about his 3 kids and his wife. Could he keep the mortgage up? And he said, I've only got 2 months, I'll be kicked out of my house. But he met up with a friend, and the friend said to him, the more you learn, the more you earn. You've got to give added value to your boss. You've got to be more knowledgeable. You've got to improve on your skills. Don't go home and watch the television every night. Be an added value. So he took it to heart, because he loved his kids and he loved his wife, and he wanted to stay in his house. So for every night he started to learn time management, a sense of urgency, no procrastination, being indispensable, being a leader, making decisions, and how to communicate, how to solve problems. And he started getting better and better, and it went on for 4 months. And the bosses were seeing him in the factory. He used to get early and go home late, and he had a sense of urgency and was making good decisions. So they didn't make him redundant. But every morning his friend said to him, when you're going to work, you've got to be alert, you've got to be alive. So every morning jog for an hour. So he had the beach half an hour from his house, and he went to the beach and he jogged every morning at 5:30, and nobody was ever on that beach. And a year went by, and all his friends got made redundant, and he didn't, because he had the skills and the knowledge. And this is what changed my life. When I left the Royal Sun Alliance, I said, I want to help people keep the jobs, run a good business. So I started studying to be a coach. Anyway, one morning he was jogging along, and he was on the beach, and he seen something in front of him, and he said, I've never seen anybody on the beach this hour in the morning. And it was like an old man, and this old man, he was closer, but he noticed that this old man had something wrong with his back, and he was stooping down and picking things up from the beach and throwing them back into the ocean. And he said, what's he doing this hour in the morning? And he got right on top of his, good morning, sir. And the old man said, oh, good morning, young man. And he went 100 yards and he stopped in his tracks, and he said, why is this old man on the beach at 5:30 in the morning throwing things back into the ocean? So he went back and said, listen, old man, I've been on this beach for a year now, jogging by myself, and it's the first time I've ever seen somebody else on the beach. Pray tell me, what are you doing And the old man looked at him. He said, well, you see, sir, there's been a gigantic storm the night before, and the storm had washed all ashore. All the starfish have been washed ashore. And the strong California sun is starting to rise. And in 2 hours, it'll be at its strongest. And I'm trying to throw these starfish back into the ocean and make a difference in their lives. I want to save them, young man. And the young man, sure enough, he looked to the right of him and he see mounds and mounds and mounds of starfish. And he looked to the left of them and heaps and heaps and heaps of starfish. Then he thought and he said, oh man, you're right. There has been a gigantic storm the night before. And you're right again. All the storm have washed all the starfish. And you're right again, old man. All the strong California sun is starting to rise. And it'll be at its height in 2 years' time. In 2 hours' time. So you're right again, old man. But old man, it'll take you years and years and years to throw all these starfish back into the ocean. So what possible difference can you make in 2 hours? And then the old man got up with anger in his heart. He said, sir, and he went over to a starfish and he picked us up with an old aching back and he got us up and he threw it far into the ocean and he said, well, sir, I made a difference in that one's life. That starfish will live. And then he ran over to another starfish and he picked us up and threw it and he said, I made a difference in that starfish's life. You see, sir, that starfish will live. And the young man was stalled by the old man's anger and he said, know what, old man, you're right again. Maybe you can't save all the starfish, but all the starfish you throw back into the ocean, you're gonna make a difference in their lives. That starfish will live. Oh man, can I come and join you? And for the next 2 hours, the pair of them were throwing the starfish back in the ocean. They couldn't save them all, but the ones they threw back in, they made a difference in their lives. And that's what life is all about. That's what Albert Einstein meant when he said, the purpose of life is to make a difference in another person's life. So all the time, you've got to make a difference in people's lives. So that's why I'm telling you this story. That's why I got into coaching. I wanted to help people, develop them to keep the houses, to keep the jobs, to run a great business. And I want to make a difference in their lives. And that's what you're doing to me right now with this MND, motor neuron disease that I've got. You are making a difference in my life. You're helping me, you give me encouragement. I'm gonna help you back. So all the time, let's be starfish throwers. I want you to think, who's been your greatest starfish thrower? Who's the person who's always been there for you, who's always helped you? And who's the person over the weekend you're going to help them? You're going to make a difference in their life. Just be a starfish thrower from now on. And anybody asks you, what's your occupation? You say, I'm a starfish thrower. I make a difference in people's lives. And I had that story 35 years ago, and that story has implemented the things I am doing now. So all of us be starfish throwers. And please, 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 I can't thank you enough for making a difference in my life. We're going to have the greatest party ever after 2 years. I'm going to live for longer than 2 years. So come on, be a starfish thrower. Don't be a negative starfish thrower. Be a positive starfish thrower, and all the time be flying with your special eagles. Thank you, my starfish throwers.